Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show with Mike and T-Roy. How are you, big fella?
Hey, buddy, I'm so good.
Yeah?
Fantastic.
Doing great?
Yeah, I just could not possibly be better.
I thought about doing the show today at 10 a.m.
Coulda.
Why not?
Yeah.
T's home.
Yeah.
He ain't working today.
No, I was off today.
Not a chance he was working today.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, you know what? He's home all day. Ain't a chance he's going to work today.
No.
So I was like, we could even do it late.
Here we are.
Yeah. So we're getting a late start when normally we would have started a couple hours ago. But interesting evening after the show last night.
It was, yeah. We had a fairly late show last night, really. I mean, it was probably 8 o'clock-ish by the time we finished off.
8:30, something like that.
Yeah, even later, yeah.
It's funny because before the show, it was like, well, should we make something? Because it was late, so we always have to make that decision. Like, we're going to eat before the show or after the show? I'm always prone to after the show. So I was like, let's do... I saw some burger buns. I was like, you want to do burgers after the show? You were like, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, perfect. Great minds. And so we get done with the show. We go upstairs. I get some fries prepped to throw in the air fryer. You're handling the grill and the burgers. This is shaping up to be a great night. I said, throw the fries in when this preheats. I'm going to go downstairs and load the show. So all that means is I got to clip the ends of it, and then I got to type up whatever the little synopsis
teaser
is. Yeah, exactly. Which is bullshit, by the way. It's really garbage. Don't ever think this is a good show or a bad show based on what you read there. It's basically nonsense. I just like, here's
Gotta have something to put in there.
Yeah, it's just a couple highlight story things, but usually the show goes in myriad directions that have nothing to do with that. But I digress. Anyway, I'm down here doing my thing, and I'm kind of in my own world, and I just hear, fuck, shit, fuck, shit. And I'm like, okay.
I think that sounds about right. That might even be direct quote.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I think it might even been oh fucks, oh shits, oh fuck,
oh
shit,
fuck,
oh fuck.
But it was really faint, and it wasn't like blood curdling.
No.
I didn't think anything. I was just like, oh, okay, T's yelling at the TV or something. Which
you
you're
yelled something
prone
up.
to do. I did.
Yeah.
I was like,
and I ignored it.
Everything all right up there? Yeah. Something like that. And I didn't hear anything back. And I was like, whatever. I'll see him in a minute. And finally I wrap up the shit. And I shut down the studio, kill the lights, go upstairs. And T is over the sink and in a weird position. You were just like hunched over the sink and the water's going, but you had a ball of napkins. And I'm like, what the hell is going on up here? And
turns out I sliced the fuck out of my hand.
Yeah.
I mean,
to the bone.
Deep.
To the bone.
Yeah, the hamburgers were really frozen.
Yeah, we like buying those.
Like the sleeves of pre-made patties.
Yeah,
the Costco
G's into
ones.
that too.
They're fantastic. They really are great.
Yeah, we were shopping in Arizona, and G was like, "I love these," and I'm like, "Me and T are doing the same thing."
Yeah.
And so we were trying to get different ones to like, is any one better than others?
Try out the differences, sure.
Wahlburgers has their version out, and Meijer and Kroger have their versions. But I've been satisfied with all of them.
Absolutely been pretty good across the board.
Is the key 85-15?
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, even 80-20. I like a little more fat in my burger, a little junk in the trunk, if you will.
I thought G was like adamant it's got to be one way or the other. He can be kind of anal like that.
Everybody's got their personal preference.
Yeah, but I was like, this one's 80-20. It's close enough. He's like,
90-10 tends to be a little lean. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, continue. I'm sorry. So you're...
they were in the outside freezer.
Yeah.
And so they got a little extra frozen or whatever the fuck's going on out there. So I couldn't quite get them apart. So I decided to take a really big, sharp knife.
That's a big knife you grabbed.
And try to pry in between, and go down in there and pop them out, I started with thinking
how
butter
were you
knife.
doing that? I still don't even know precisely how.
Well, I was kind of holding it, and then, I had it sticking out the end, and I was just trying to kind of wedge the knife down in there and the first one or two popped off fine. A little tough, pretty solid. But there was something about it, and I just remember in my head going, you're going to fucking stab yourself in the hand. Mm-hmm. And actually, I think I went, you're going to stab yourself in the, oh, fuck, oh, shit, oh, fuck.
Which is where I picked up the story.
Yeah. So I am very pleased to report that the bleed stop works fantastic.
Yeah. I can't believe that was the first thought that went through your mind.
Kept my wits about me, sir.
Was Mike Lindell's bleed stop.
Yeah. Well, I saw it when I first did it, and I went, the oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, because I knew how big and deep that was.
Yeah.
Like that's not just a ooh, that's gonna sting a little.
Yeah.
That was a oh, that's gonna be a problem.
We're going to the hospital type of thing.
So immediately grab a wad of paper towel, put that on there. Immediately go over to the cabinet, get the bleed stop.
How did you even open it? Teeth?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Rip that top right off.
Yep.
Get it. Kind of half-ass read the instructions, and just start shoving it down in there. And
Yeah. And
It-
you
it
were
worked.
doing that for like 20 minutes. You had, I mean, there was bleed stop everywhere. There
Yes.
was blood kind of everywhere. They're all over the sink. There was some on the counter, maybe on the burgers that I still grilled, by
possibly,
the way.
yeah, you cook that shit right off. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's what I figured.
Yeah,
I
you
was
get it
like,
up to temperature, kills
yeah,
everything.
that's what I thought. I'm like, even T's super strong AIDS blood isn't going to fucking, I'll be able to burn that shit right off. No
doubt.
problem.
Yep.
And, but yeah, it was, you know, and then it was like, is he going to remove that wad of paper and bleed stop and the thing's going to be squirting?
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
didn't know.
Because the instructions are pretty vague on there. It's like dump this shit into your wound and apply pressure until the bleeding stops.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when do you know when the bleeding stops? So
Right.
It was erring on the side of caution, just
Yeah.
sticking with it, you know. It wasn't bleeding out through the paper towel or anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So then I kind of, after a while, after you came back up, I kind of peeked at it. It was still gaping a little bit. So
Yeah.
shove a little more in there, keep packing it down in there. But yeah, that stuff sets up like Quickcrete.
Yeah. The
Which
the
we'll-
cement.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But so I was like, okay, you know, and I'm not one for going to hospital or
No.
any of that shit ever, generally for anything.
Yeah.
So I got my sister's a doctor, and then second opinion with Beth
Yeah.
on what I should do here. Do I really need to go get stitches? Are we going to be okay? Tried to find.
Well, the first thought was Beth was like, maybe she's got a
I
little
tried.
sewing kit.
I begged her to come fucking.
Yeah, it was
sew
like,
up
can't you
herself.
just come over and sew it? She's like, I don't do stitches.
Yeah.
And then she was like, in her sadistic, creepy, weirdo way, she's like, can I see a picture of it?
Send me pictures of it.
Yeah, she wants to see all the
I'm
gross
in
shit.
bed. Show me what you did.
Yeah. And it was like, just, okay, go
Yeah.
back to bed. You
So the
deal with
consensus
this.
was that, and I knew I had shoved all this shit in there, so I didn't know how long you can leave that in there. It's probably not good, you know. I think I figure it's probably got to be really cleaned out, like well. So I decided to go. I tried to find. Apparently, there is no 24-hour urgent cares anywhere ever.
Yeah, you were Googling it.
I looked
was
it up.
like, close.
I was like,
close,
urgent
close.
care near me. Gave me a list of 400 of them. Every one of them closed at 8 o'clock. I was like, great. This is about 9:30 at this point.
These two clowns have figured out how to open the door down here.
I think when you don't shut it all the way.
Well,
that
it
helps.
doesn't like latch close, but obviously Cece's the bigger of the two, and she has figured out how to push it open. And so she's like, Bogey, let's go. They're doing their
We're
show.
breaking in.
And so she comes down here and they're both running at my feet with toys. Like,
That's
let's
fine.
play.
As long as we're not the squeaky toys, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I decided to go to the ER.
Thank you, by the way. I was trying to be a good friend. I was like, if you want me to drive you, sit there with you, I'm in. I'm your guy.
Yeah.
And
And if
you're
it
like,
was anything life threatening, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
If it was, but I knew it was the bleeding had stopped. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't hurting that bad or anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I got this. There's no point in going and just sit there for fucking who knows 2, 4, 6 hours, whatever the ER
Right.
can be.
Yeah.
So I went over to our Henry Ford right here, which I assumed wouldn't be bad. A Monday night at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Figured, I'd get in and out. No, they were like, we're really busy tonight, so have a seat and we'll get with you when we can.
Yeah.
So it was finally about
You got the treatment that I got when I went in for my heart originally.
the
hallway
hallway bed.
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes you feel kind of third world.
Well, they were just stacking us up like on the on deck circle. Like as I walked finally down the hall, they finally called my name, and I start walking down the hall. I realized that there was like 10 beds lined up, and I just walked past the fucking last 9 people they called, all sitting in these first 9 beds, and then
Yeah.
I went to the last one. I'm like, okay,
I'm gonna
this
be
is-
here a while.
Yeah, this is just the next step of waiting.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I was playing poker the whole night. So
Oh, there
I was
you go.
I wasn't sure if the Wi-Fi was going to work on that in there.
Yeah.
So I was playing poker the whole time. So
Nice.
won a little bit, which is nice.
Hey, excellent.
So it wasn't a total loss. But then eventually, and it was fine. Like I was doing, I mean, it wasn't bothering me or anything. So the guy finally came out, looked at it, and I was like, yeah, it looks like, gonna need some stitches. I'm like, that's probably pretty much why I'm here. So
Yeah.
right there in the hallway, just pulls up a little rolling fucking
No
table.
way.
Oh yeah.
You
like,
didn't even have a room
I
for
never
that?
even went to a room. He came, saw me sitting on that thing. Went and rolled one of those little fucking, they'll bring your meals on little tray
Yeah,
things that's
yeah.
like, with a slide under the bed kind of thing.
Sure.
Brought one of those right over. Was like looking at it, checking out. He was like, all right, well, we'll clean this up. I'll numb it up a little bit, give you a couple stitches, be on your way. I'm like, cool, sounds good. So he goes, gets the stuff, comes back. I'm fine. I mean, I'm fine.
Yeah.
This whole time.
It's not too painful.
No,
the
it's
blood
not.
hasn't freaked you out.
Nope,
you know.
not at all. So he gets down there. We're kind of joking about stuff, whatever, and he's gets it out. He's going to clean it out. Well, now he's trying to like start cleaning this stuff off. Well,
The bleed stop.
the bleed stop turns into cement. Like it was on other parts of my hand. Like I couldn't get off. Right? Like I was scraping it. I couldn't get it off.
Yeah.
So he's like, and he's cleaning all around.
Did he ask
it.
what you put on?
Well, I
there?
told him originally, I'm like, look, I go, it's not really bleeding. I go, I put this bleed stop, and he's like, what? And I'm like, it's Mike Lindell's bleed stop. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Cures fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, and he starts going. Well, then he's like starting to try to get that. And it's just, it's like cemented down into this wound.
So
now.
what's he got, like tweezers?
He's
trying
got,
to, like,
well, he just
pull...
had, originally he just had, didn't have like a full array of tools with him. He was pretty bare bones.
Well, he thought he was just going to need a little fucking needle and some
he was
string.
just had some gauze and some, water and some fucking peroxide or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he's like cleaning that up, and he's going to get it, and it's just, I can feel it just pulling the meat kind of with it, And he was like looking at me, and I was like, just get it.
Yeah, you got to get it out of there.
Just fucking get it, man. Like I'm this far in.
Yeah.
So finally, he was like ripping off a Band-Aid. He was like, pulled that thing out. I was like, okay, I'll just clean it out.
At this point is when you took the picture?
Well, no, that's actually, I'm literally getting the stitches when I took that. He's literally sewing my hand when I took that selfie.
Oh, okay.
Like these literally like needle and thread into my hand when I took that selfie. I took a picture of it. But that's when that's when I took the picture, of the wound then. Because I hadn't even seen it yet. And then Beth, in her sadistic ways, had asked for detailed photos of it. So
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, she's waiting to rub one out.
Always been like that.
So I took
and actually,
pictures.
I asked her, I said, did Troy send you a picture? I knew you would have. And she's like, yeah, I just wanted to mush it around. And I was like, God, you're a fucking weirdo.
Nut job.
Really? It looked like a vagine. Honest to God.
I mean, it could have passed for sure.
And I had thoughts like, would it be inappropriate to fuck Troy's hand? Would that be kind of gay? But it looked like you would have had a nice vagine.
A little bee-boop in there.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like that time of month, You get your Red Wings for that one.
Yeah, come on. We're all grown
We've all
adults
been there.
here. Yeah.
But, so finally, I guess, do all that, cleans it up, numbs it up, starts giving me the stitches. He gets down to the one end, and I really feel him putting that fucking needle in me, and I was like, ooh, like that. We're not very numb down there.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. He's like, okay, and so he numbs it up, and then he finishes. And again, totally fine. I watched him do this whole thing. I took a selfie while he was stitching me up.
And you're a man.
We had we had a conversation, after about how to care for it, what was going to happen next. The lady was going to come clean it up, dress my wound, all this kind of stuff, get me out of here. I should be fine. And then, he's like, okay, it's good. And just as he's getting ready to leave, I kind of start feeling nauseous, like I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
Right? I just feel that, the tongue sweats kind of come on. You start getting that weird,
I hate that.
this weird, chill thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All of a sudden I started feeling weird. He was like, you need anything? And I was like, I feel kind of nauseous. He's like, you want to lay down? I'm like, well, maybe just give me a bucket just in case, I throw up or something, because I don't want to puke in the hallway right here, since that's where we are.
And you're having this conversation.
Totally having this conversation. Yeah, I go, maybe give me a bucket or something in case I throw up. I can just feel it kind of coming on me. And he goes, okay. And I could swear he turned around to go walk away to go get a puke bucket.
Yeah.
And next thing I remember is starting to wake up and I kind of opening my eyes and going what? And I realize I'm looking at my feet, underneath the table kind of thing. And I'm kind of open my eyes and I'm like, what the fuck? And I fucking lift my head up. And he's holding me, and there's 10 people standing around me staring at me, all nurses just fucking wide-eyed, looking at me and shit. And I'm like, I guess I passed out. And they're like, yep. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
They're like, yep, you're fine, So then they laid me back down. Color came back. Everything was fine.
Did they give you IV or orange juice?
No, I did. I slammed 2 orange juices in a minute. Yeah, they laid me down, elevated my feet.
Yeah.
So my color came back immediately.
I wonder what that was.
I've talked to a couple different people about it, and there's some sort of reaction that your body does. Won't get into the details on it. But
I know one of my dad's pilot buddies in the Navy had some sort of like horrific accident. I think I've talked about it before, but he had to eject. His plane was going down, had to eject, and when he shot out of the canopy,
hit his head,
hit both knees.
Oh yeah,
as it was poof. You know, they were kind of clumsy back then. With you know, it was just like eh. And so this dude ended up in one of those you see in movies, like in the hospital bed with the legs up in the air and casts and like fucked up, smashed his face, legs. And my mom and dad went over to visit him because he's, you know, my dad's guy. And my mom says, she's looking at my dad, and all of a sudden he's just like, and fucking down he goes. Mm-hmm. It's like, holy shit, what was that about? Like, I don't know.
No, I can't explain it. I mean, I don't really do that ever. It wasn't and I was talking to the nurse after she's bringing me around and giving me my orange juice and all that stuff. And, you know, she's like, yeah, people react that way to blood. I'm like, nope. That wasn't it. Like, I watched it slice. I fucking drove myself here. I watched him stitch this thing up. I go, it was all said and done. I go, it's not like I saw it and was like, ooh, and dropped.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, sometimes when that's doing that, you know, you just stop breathing. I was like, nope, because when it started to hurt at the end, because even after he numbed it, it didn't numb really well, and it still hurt like a bitch those last couple of stitches.
Yeah.
And so I was just... you know, breathing like that. So I know, so whether I hyperventilated in some way, or like I said, somebody explained what it is, some sort of, it doesn't matter, but some reaction your body has to situations like that makes it happen. But I mean, within me waking up and me walking out the door was probably 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. I was like,
you were there till 2 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Like I said,
I mean,
I
you left here at 9.
Yeah. I mean, which all in all isn't too bad for getting into an ER, seen, stitched up, and leaving. Yeah. I would have been home a half hour earlier if I didn't pass out, probably. But
yeah.
But even I thought, really, you guys just let me just walk out of here right now?
Yeah, I even said that to him. Like, they let you just leave?
I had enough conversations with people. I mean, the second I came back out of it, like, I was fine. I came back around. I was totally coherent. My color came back. They took my blood pressure a couple of times, my pulse, all that stuff for a while. Yeah. Made sure I was good. I drank the orange juice. I'm like, I can't explain it. I'm like, but I feel fine.
And you could have just walked out. It's not like you're in custody.
Well, no, exactly, right. But I also don't want to go jump in my car and fucking do it again and just T-bone a fucking family.
There's something about the hospital atmosphere, and I've unfortunately had to do quite a few visits to the hospital and ER in recent years, and there's something about them that makes me just kind of feel queasy, nauseous, weird, just being in there. I don't know what that is, if it's the bright lights, the white everywhere, just sick people all around you, or maybe I'm just feeling like shit because that's why I'm there.
I felt like $1 million the whole time. I really did. I mean, minus the vagina on my hand.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of scar that's going to give you.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll find out in 10 to 14 days.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got this nice wrap on. Makes you look like a badass. Looks like sort of like a boxer before they put their glove on.
Right. Exactly.
Is what it looks
like. I
like.
kept the bracelet. I kept all the
kept
the gear on.
Yep.
So it's been a whirlwind 24 hours for me.
Yeah, it sure has.
Makes it difficult to work as an electrician.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you're not going to be able to work for weeks, a couple weeks.
We'll see.
I mean,
see how this thing heals up.
Yeah.
Probably not this week at all would be my guess.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if you could. And then, I know you had the plans for this weekend up north.
That's not going to change.
No, I know, but you love going in the lake and playing Frisbee in the water, beer games, and you know what I mean? Like, all that kind of goes in there.
It's my uncle's memorial, so I don't know how much of that will be going on.
Oh, well, yeah, you will, right? You're not going to be just sitting there mourning. You guys,
well, not entirely, but, we'll see. I'm not sure what the temperature of the room's going to be up there.
I know exactly how I'm going through something very similar to your hand, Vagine, and that I clipped my finger here. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, it's tragic.
And that thing, I mean, it really hurt to the touch. And I don't even know how I did it. Unlike yours, where you know who assaulted you. It was that big fucking knife up there. My wound, I didn't even know who did it. And I don't know how I did it. It's almost like some, heroin junkie passed out with a cigarette in their hand and it just burned down. But that's not the spot you'd burn.
No.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know what it is, but I feel you, brother. We're both dealing with this kind of thing right now.
Brothers and mourns.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I went into triage originally, they were like, well, when was your last tetanus shot? I'm like, I started thinking about it.
When I was 8.
They're like, within the last 5 years? I was like, no, it's been longer than that. They're like, okay. And they get to the doctor, and he asked me, when was your last tetanus shot? I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 10 years. I wasn't really, it was late. I wasn't thinking that clear.
Does anyone know the answer to that?
I got mine when I went overseas. That was part of the thing I had to get.
Yeah, you probably got a lot.
But so that
of
was
stuff.
2009. So 8 or 10 years is bad math on my part on that one, right?
Yeah.
And he's like,
really bad math.
Well, I was just like, I don't know, 8 or 10 years, something like that. It's been a while.
It's been a minute, yeah.
And I thought the 5-year was like the threshold, maybe, of what it was, because they were like, it's been more than 5 years. Like, if it's been more than 5 years, you got to get one or something. Again. And so I'm like, I don't know, 8 or 10 years, maybe something like that. And he was like, yeah, if it's 10 years, yeah, you're probably okay, And I go, it was a fucking clean kitchen knife in my, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about it being
you didn't
some
get
weird
bit
thing.
by a raccoon out in the
literally
wild.
took it out of the fucking drawer and fucking sliced my hand with it. I cut a couple of pieces of frozen beef with it, but I'll roll the dice. So I didn't have to get tetanus out of that. I'm hoping.
Is tetanus the big one in the stomach when you need to, or is that rabies? That might be rabies.
That's rabies, yeah. So I'm hoping the finger is not. It hurts and is really fucked up
you
right
had
now.
to go through some
you would think.
tendons and.
You'd think.
I mean, dude, I swear I can see bone in that picture. I'd show it to people, but I don't want to freak people out.
It's pretty gross.
It's nasty. I know some, creepy people will want to see it.
The best of the world will
yes, they'll all want to see it. I love when it's T. Roy's hooky from Workday.
Yeah.
Because you're.
This wasn't a fun T. Roy hooky day though.
No, I know, but I'm all, me, a positive guy as I am, always looking for the silver linings and things. And so it's like, T-Roy gets to sit down and hang and have a cup of coffee this morning, maybe relax, watch a little TV, all that stuff. And so we've been watching some stuff because I always watch more than you, obviously. And I'm like, the new this special or that documentary or this. And there's a couple things out there now that we started watching, one of them being Quarterback on Netflix. Man, is that cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if, I don't know if it's just because I'm so jonesing. As you know, my top 5 things, and I take family and CC out the mix, but it's hand, mouth, butt, vagine, and football. That's all I care about on earth, right? Those 5 things literally sum up me. Mm-hmm. That's it. And without football, when we're in that dark time of our lives, we don't have football, I'm jonesing. I'm constantly on Twitter looking for updates on my teams. Oh, what are the Lions doing? What are the Niners doing? That kind of thing. And so this documentary, just settle down, Bogues. Documentary drops 8 parts called Quarterback. It's produced by Peyton Manning. And it just follows literally every day. These guys gave unprecedented access to NFL Films or whoever filmed it. At home, in the office, driving to and from the stadium, before games, after games, like everything with Kirk Cousins, Patrick Mahomes, and Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
And boy, oh boy, can you see a difference between, that guy's going to win a Super Bowl, and that guy's not.
Yeah.
In their prep. And, I come out of this thing going, Kirk Cousins is no bullshit. That dude's a tough son of a bitch who studies and preps and whether or not he has the skill, the God-given talent to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, I don't know. But Patrick Mahomes is that kind of dude too. And you see the level that these guys go to with their bodies and the hits they take. And we all know this, but seeing it and seeing them on a daily basis.
Focusing on it.
Oh, it's just incredible. I've never seen such access to these guys. I think you started to watch one episode. Did you start
watching
watching
some of the
Kirk
Cousin ones,
Yeah. It's really good. But then it turns out well for them because, one of those 32 quarterbacks or whatever is going to end up winning the Super Bowl. It happened to be Patrick Mahomes, and they've got this incredible access.
Oh, so it was all season they followed the whole thing? So, oh, wow, right on.
Except I was really pissed because it's like they almost went through every game. It's like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. And then I get to the end of this thing, and I'm like, there wasn't a single Lions highlight. And the Vikings, I thought that was an interesting storyline. They were 14-1 playing the Lions, or 13-1 or something like that. They had this
late in the season,
and the Lions were 7-9 or 7-8.
Yeah, just turning that around, I think.
And it was like they were favored. The Lions were favored over the Vikings. I thought that was it was like they covered every interesting angle of everything, and it's like, really? You're not even going to acknowledge that game? You're not going to acknowledge the Lions?
The disrespect is palpable.
It is. It's pissing me off, really. But, they went through all the ups and downs for all these guys, and it was like that seemed like a pretty big one because that one to me was like, yeah, this is a fraudulent 14-1 team. They're a fraud. They're not real.
They weren't that good.
There was no shock to me when they got bounced early in the playoffs to the Giants. I think they lost to, or was it the Giants? Or
Yeah, because they won the division and the Giants just snuck in.
Yeah, and they beat them week
wild
17
card
or something too.
Yeah.
I think they played them like the last game of the year and then had to play them in the playoffs. And lost that game, and it was like, yeah, no shock. This was a fraud of a team, which is why the Lions were favored in that game towards the end of the season and ended up winning that game. I can't
Just
remember
shows
who
you
that was, but
how good those Vegas lines are.
yeah,
And what they know.
they're unbelievable.
It really is unbelievable. If you really study those and like see what the lines are and how close those are,
Yeah.
game in and game out, it's
Yeah.
staggering.
Were you ever able to look? I think I texted you from the plane, maybe, or the day before. I had shit Wi-Fi, but I'd seen on Twitter someone had placed a bet, like five bet parlay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was that bullshit or was that real? It
No,
looked
I'm sure it's
totally real.
I'm sure it's a real bet.
It was a $15 bet that paid like 25 grand.
Yeah,
If
might
you
have paid more than that.
It was like 23 or 25,000. I
Something
thought.
like I'd have to look at, but yeah, because that's it was basically 5 players all having
10 plus touchdowns.
rushing touchdowns, and I believe Justin Fields was one of those, which is a quarterback.
Right, but he rushes a lot.
He does,
and
but
he breaks
He
shit.
does.
And,
But I mean, 10's a lofty number for a running back.
yeah, what does a good running back get in a season? Because it was
Your starting running back can get you, anywhere 12 to 15 touchdowns.
what's his name set a record with 17 or something?
Yes, yeah, exactly. But that was fraudulent too.
Well, yeah, those
And
are
so
all
would
1
you,
yarders.
and would you have going into the season? Would you have thought DeAndre Swift was going to get more touchdowns, or
Williams?
not Jerome? What the hell?
Well, yeah, whatever his name is, the Saint now.
Yeah,
The guy.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's dead to me now. He's gone.
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely you would have. But I know it was like Christian McCaffrey was on the list, 10 plus touchdowns. Could he get that rushing?
Well, yeah, he can, for sure.
Sure. But now that you say it, rushing touchdowns,
All
probably
specifically rushing
not.
touchdowns is tough. It's tough.
But it was like, why not roll the dice on a $15 bet?
100%.
25 grand.
That's the kind of stuff that I do.
That's why I sent it to you. I was
exactly.
like, dude,
I'd rather
this is
put
right
$5 or
up your
$10
alley.
down on something that may pay me $1,000.
Yeah.
Or $500 at least than bet 10 on something that's going to win me 10.
I would constantly say that bet hits and you win 25 grand. Say it was $15 and oh my God, it hit and you won $25,000. My immediate thought would not be, oh my God, how lucky for me I won 25 grand. I would be like, you fucking idiot. Why didn't you put $100 on it? Yeah. Why didn't you put $1,000 on it? You would have made $10 million. Like, that would be my thought. Like, sure, you had this one opportunity. You knew it could hit. You knew it was legit. You had the thing beat, and you fucked it up, and you only put $15 on it.
It'd be interesting to see if that pans out.
Yeah. We'll have to save that text and see, because there were a couple guys on there I didn't recognize, which is not uncommon for me. I'm not following the whole league like a fantasy owner. I just don't care.
Yeah.
But I know you would know all those players.
They were all legit.
sure.
I mean, I think it was 4
Was it
starting
Saquon? Was Saquon on there? And
Barkley was
Christian
on there.
McCaffrey?
Yeah, it was basically 4 starting running backs and one.
And Justin
quarterback.
Fields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, I'm sure it won't hit, but that'd be interesting to see.
you never know.
If it would. And I'd like to know if it was legit. I think it was. But anyway.
Who knows?
Anyway, you want to do a read, T, so I can take a sip of Wawa?
Oh, you should definitely do that. I would love
Thank you,
to,
buddy.
because I was going to say that everybody loves top shelf service, world class experience, and of course, communication and support. After the sale. So don't settle for ordinary. Go see our friends and original sponsors, Zott, Ford, and Holly. Because when you work with Gabara, Anthony, and their whole crew, you'll get all that plus the yummiest deals in the D. Starting with Zott Ford's employee pricing for everyone and remaining 22 F-150s plus 0% financing. But you got to hurry. Plus, the team at Zott wants to help you get out of your high-interest loan and replace it with 0% financing and up to $4,500 in rebates. Or if you bought out your lease and you're ready for something fresh, they can slide you out and get you an extra $1,000 for that trade-in. Finally, Zott Ford still has their famous sign and drive leases where you can lease a new 23 Bronco Sport, Explorer, or F-150 with payments just over $400 a month, sign and drive. You can see the smorgasbord of deals and their delicious inventory at dealsinthed.com.
I was talking to, I got more texts from Eric, Big E.
Fady?
Yeah.
It was Damian Pierce, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Justin Fields, and J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
All
having 10-plus rushing touchdowns.
And that was a $15 bet that paid $21,000.
$21,000. Okay. Hardly seems worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got text from Ian. He was like, "Hey man, I hope you had a good time. Hope your time in the Lone Star State was good." I was in Arizona. What are you doing?
It's not that bad. I'm just putting
Raising.
my hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
You look like you were raising your hand to ask a question.
Excuse me. Ooh,
Yeah.
Mr. Cotta.
No. But he's been hacked. I mentioned it yesterday at the end of the show. I wanted to give him a little love a little earlier in the show.
All right. Before everybody turns us off.
And what's that?
Before everybody turns us off.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got this. His new name is now Eric Fady, Fadey, that he wants to get all his friends back. And so he got hacked really bad, and it's a big giant pain in the ass. And I was like, why didn't you, I said Troy suggested, and it makes perfect sense. Why didn't you use real Eric Fady or something and actually spell your name correct?
Yeah, instead of spelling it wrong.
Yeah, he's like, damn, that's awesome. He's like, I couldn't do it because I can't access that freaking account, and there's already an Eric Fady. Okay, I imagine there's a lot of Mike Smiths in the world. They still have their account. So what if there's another Eric Fady out there?
Listen, don't try and get in the mind of Big E.
Yeah, I'm not. It's been a massive hassle now, and it's like I work a job plus a bunch of other stuff came up, yada yada. Anyways, so I don't know if he wants me to just tell people this. He appreciates it.
First of all, he got
bigly.
hacked, and so if you get any kind of a message from the old original FADIE,
Yeah.
just asking for money and things like that, which seem to be
Send
the
it to him.
gist. Don't do that.
Yeah, it was going around. A lot of people got the same message from him, going, "Hey man, can you help me out? I really need $300, and I'll pay you back tomorrow $350, an extra $50." And a lot of people are, they love Eric, and so they're like, they start asking some fishing questions. Some of them are like, what's your niece's name? Your new niece's name, and stuff like that. Like, and then the person's like, "Fuck off" or whatever. So they're trying to figure it out. Like, this seems like a weird way for Eric to ask for money. But, the way that the hack or the scam is, it's like, "Hey, can you help me out with with some help really quick," or something like that. So it looks like it could possibly be from Eric. But if you get one of those, don't open it. Also, Darren McCarty's been hacked, it sounds like.
This kind of goes back to our friend request kind of a thing of being sketchy and stuff lately.
Yeah, which is why we're all, a little gun shy about opening anything.
It's one thing, somebody
yeah.
But then it's somebody else you don't know.
Right.
You have no idea if that could be some kind of stupid virus thing.
Right.
So
and
weird times we're in these days.
It is, and I reached out to AA Ron today because I go to my email and I'm, it's where I left off the day before. I go to bed and whatever email comes in, so I've got to scroll up to the top. And I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I'm like, where the hell did I leave off last night? Well, no, I have 5,000 emails from all over the world. So someone is using my email to register everywhere. People do this a lot. They don't want to put their own email in there, but they still want the free door prize.
Yeah.
So they'll just put,
It has to be a legit email.
It has to be a legit email. So they can't, they'll just grab a celebrity's name or something, or someone they know, but common people can get mixed up in that too.
Yeah.
So obviously someone is using walters@detroitcast.com.
And you keep saying it, so it's easy access.
Well, I want people that are
but
actually listening to the show to email me.
I get it. But my point is that's so it's out there, and when you get all these views from Malaysia or wherever the hell we were at.
Yeah. So that's turning into a pain in the ass, and you can buy better security. So hey, Ron's looking into it for me, but
nerds, get on it.
Oh, it just drives me nuts. Anyway, how you feeling, buddy? You look
so good.
You look a little weird right now.
Do I?
Yeah, like you're going a little paler. And,
no, I'm just fine.
Yeah, is it all right?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, people, Fadey, Eric Fady, he wants his friends
the
back.
new one.
Go help him out if you can. And if you're using my email to subscribe to bullshit all over the world, knock it off, please.
We're on to you.
I'd appreciate that.
We have the best of the best coming after you.
I thought this video, I wanted to play it yesterday, but we ran out of time talking about, curry shits and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I never ended up getting to it, but John Kerry, the climate czar for this administration, was asked while under oath about flying private jets. This guy was talking to him about climate change and whatnot, and made some smart-ass comment to him, like like a quip. And was just like, hey, I hope it wasn't too problematic for your operational team and your private jet to get here. And then he just went on to his thing, and Kerry was obviously like fucking
stewing on it.
Oh,
I'm not letting you get that one over on me.
He was basking in a full bowl of carrots, peas,
Yeah.
and chopped potatoes. He was stewing hard over it. And he was like, he comes back and he's like, yeah, just to go back to that, I don't agree with your facts, which began with the presentation of one of the most outrageously persistent lies that I hear, which is this private jet. We don't own a private jet. It's stupid to talk about, me flying here. Really? Is it that stupid? Like this idea that everything's about national security.
Are we going to get hung up on the term own here, John?
Yeah, we're going to get...
If you charter private jets, it doesn't matter if you own it or you do it. It's still the same thing.
Well, let's hear him. Go down to that video there, and let's hear John Kerry explain it. I thought it was hilarious. So typical of these fucking politicians. So there's two videos on there. I think this is the one, T.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Yeah.
Mr. Secretary, in exchange with Mr. Mills, you just testified under oath.
Real packed house in there.
Yeah.
That
was
Chairman,
important.
I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023. The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after.
Back that up, T. That was important. He's going to say, I want to remind you, you're under oath, sir, about the private jets. I didn't read this part because I thought it was going to say it in here, but it doesn't. He goes on to say, this which began this with this outrageous, persistent lie that I hear that is private jets. We don't own a private jet. I don't own a private jet. I've personally never owned a private jet. And obviously, it's pretty stupid to talk about coming in a private jet from the State Department to up here. Honestly, if that's where you want to go, though, go there. And so it's like, oh, wow, that's pretty hardcore.
Lay the hammer down.
So Mr. Mills, Congressman Mills, was questioning him, and that was Kerry's response. I don't own a private jet. I've personally never owned a private jet.
Personally.
Keyword. So then we start here. This is another congressman who's going to follow up. Mr. Waltz here is going to, Michael Waltz, representative from Florida, is going to follow up on that line of questioning.
Okay.
Mr. Secretary, in exchange with Mr. Mills, you just testified under oath that you never owned a private jet. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023. The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy. Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or
I personally,
your family?
I
your family?
personally, yes, my wife owned a plane. And
You flew on that plane?
Not in a number of years, but I have flown on it,
And
sure.
this article is not then inaccurate, that your family owned a plane, you flew on a plane.
My
Mr.
wife
Secretary,
First of all, he looks like shit.
Yeah.
Rough.
Awesome.
I
head
knew
of
that's
hair,
what it
though.
was
His
gonna
head
come
of
down
hair
to.
is.
I mean, he looks like a head on a skeleton.
Yeah.
He looks like a Halloween decoration right here. And you
This
knew
is
that
politicians in a
was coming.
nutshell.
You knew
Is
that
it
was
not?
coming. When you say that, when you go out of your way to say, I personally have never.
Yeah.
Okay, well then what? What's your wife do that she owns a fucking private jet?
Well, she's part of the Heinz ketchup fucking family.
Oh.
She's
Okay.
Yeah. John Kerry and his wife Heinz, whatever, something Heinz Kerry. She's part of the Heinz
Gotcha, I
ketchup.
didn't know that part.
Yes.
Okay.
So her family is billions of dollars.
Yep.
So he's married to that world. And so this idea, though, that I personally, as if everyone's going to go, well, that's the end of that. He doesn't own a private jet, so he's not a hypocrite.
No.
You fucking clown. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, listen, it would be one thing if he bought a private jet and put in his wife's name, type of a thing.
Right.
If her family's got the money and she has a private jet for that,
Right.
and so it's not quite as egregious.
I think
on
it
that
is,
level.
though. When you're talking about your wife, this is like that's like my mom and dad. My dad's like, I personally have never owned a private jet. Well, your wife owns a private jet. Well, yeah, she did. Well, she did. Yeah, the only reason you sold it is because people started pointing out the hypocrisy. So you sold it this year, dickhead.
Yeah.
You just sold the family private jet.
God, I flew out on a couple of times. I'd like to see the logs, see how many couples of times
Couples
you
of
flew on
times.
there.
And honestly, I wouldn't give a shit in the least. And it happens to be John Kerry here, who's the climate czar, which makes it that much more comical. I wouldn't give a shit at all. If John Kerry was up there going, look, I'm John Kerry, okay? I've been a public figure my entire life. My wife's family is
public servant.
The Heinz ketchup family, okay? There's a lot of money. I don't want any risk of kidnapping or ransom, or I don't want to be getting in debates with people in a crowded like I was in Arizona, where there's 5,000 people in this waiting to get onto the plane. I can understand why a public figure would not want to sit in that mess of humanity if they don't have to. And a private jet's no better place. If he just went, look, yes, I've flown on private jets. Obviously, we're working to fix the climate stuff, but at this point, it's not feasible. And this is the best. Like, you could come, but don't lie to my face and act like we're morons.
Well, you want to play the, what the definition of is.
Exactly.
You want to play the word game.
Exactly.
Can we keep going with this?
Yeah, sure.
Here's the issue.
Yeah.
This isn't some kind of partisan gotcha. When we are asking Americans to make serious sacrifices as we transition for the common good, and your family and or yourself are flying around on private jets, that smacks of hypocrisy. It actually hurts your cause, Mr. Secretary. But I'll move on. I just want to know from a record standpoint.
Afford me the right, at least, to set the record straight here. I do not fly on a private jet. I do not fly. I fly commercially.
Sometimes.
Have you
On
flown
all
on a
of my
private jet since you've
responsibilities-
taken this position?
Just let me just finish. I have flown 5 times in the last 2.5 years on Mill-Air, which you also fly on, or some of you who travel fly on, 5 times.
Sure. Okay.
Otherwise, all of my trips are commercial
Have you
airlines.
flown on a private jet in a personal or official capacity since you've taken this position?
Possibly once.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't
remember.
think.
You know what I would be able to say? Oh, absolutely, I did. It was the greatest experience of my life.
Yeah.
I flew on a private jet once.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I would never
Took
forget
the family
that.
down to Barbados for a month. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Look, I got to fly on a private jet that was owned by Bob Seger and Kid Rock. Smallish, and Mike Clark got it for us when we were coming home from Vegas to Detroit. It's the only time I've been in one outside of like Ryan's plane or stuff like that, small plane. But if you want to talk about private jet where you get to go through this part of the airport and just walk right onto the tarmac and it was amazing. And I would recommend, it's like everybody in, let's go. Put it in gear and they floor it. And you're fucking gone.
Yep.
There's no announcements. There's no bullshit. There's no, waiting for old bagels. No, you're just in, you're gone. It's the greatest thing in the world. And for him to go, hold on, let me stop you there. 5 times in the last 2.5 years. Troy, how many times have you flown on a private jet?
None.
In the last 2.5 years?
Well, we counting Ryan's?
No.
Then none. And that was just a little zip around. That wasn't like going anywhere.
So in the last 2.5 years, you haven't even flown on a private jet once?
No.
How many times have you flown on a private jet in your entire lifetime, Troy?
None.
None.
None, 0.
Wow. Huh. I bet if you asked 99% of everybody in your existence, your entire orb of people, and you went, how many times in the last 2.5 years have you flown on a private jet? They would say none. They wouldn't have to think about it and go, maybe once. That tells me you've flown on a private jet so many times. You're like, well, I used to fly in them
not one of
daily,
those people
but,
are on C-SPAN either.
Right.
So it's not exactly apples to apples.
Well, if you were just saying because my guess is with John Kerry and the Heinz family fortune, he's flying on private jets every day of his existence until about 5 years ago when he becomes the climate czar or whatever.
And
3
probably
years ago.
after that until he started getting a little pushback.
Right. Exactly my point.
Yeah.
Exactly my point, which is why the family sells the private jet in February or March of this year because of the hypocrisy. He's getting so much shit from people like, how dare you tell me to not get a gas stove when you're flying to fucking Switzerland in a private jet? Fuck off. No. It's just, it's, you know, and you could do this with any one of these clowns. You know, it just happens
most
to
of
be
'em.
John Kerry, but
Let's see, it's chasing his tail.
what's that? Is that what's going on here?
He was chasing his tail in a circle, growling like a motherfucker.
Yeah. His tail gets him so worked up and angry.
Yeah, fuck that tail.
Yeah.
Get it. Now Cece's attacking him, so this is going to go great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great having them both down here. Find a way to lock the door. Our doorknobs are such a mess around here.
We are in a very fucking bad doorknob
Yeah,
situation.
our doorknob game needs to be upped. It is a disaster.
Right.
Anyway,
I'm sure you'll take care of that.
I very well may. I took care of it last time. And the front door was a shit show, to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you put it in?
No.
Okay.
Fuck no. I have put doorknobs in though, and I don't
then you're all
appreciate you shitting all over me. You know I'm worthless. You don't need to add insult to injury.
I'm just saying I'm broken.
Yeah, that's true. You're kind of fucked.
I'm on the
It's
DL.
not your right hand. That's your wiping hand.
I'm on the DL.
Thank God. What would you do if that was your right hand? Would you learn how to wipe lefty?
Oh, first of all, I'd go with a stranger.
Yeah. You'd go with a stranger?
No, I'd have to go with a stranger.
Oh,
with
yeah,
left
yeah,
hand. Yeah, feels like somebody else.
I feel like you'd fuck that up, dude.
Probably.
I'm going to try it next time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go lefty and see what kind of a
See what it takes.
mess I
yeah.
make.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Literally?
Yeah.
Probably,
No,
it's probably the same mess you make with the right hand would be my
no,
guess.
my guess is I need a shower afterwards.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh. What happens after with the righty?
Nothing. I'm just so used to it. I've been doing it since I was, 2.
Yeah.
So, if I
thought
if
you
I
don't
all of
do
a
it.
sudden what?
Let you say you don't do it.
What? Wipe?
Oh.
What?
Never mind.
I'm still talking about wiping your ass.
I'm
with a
talking
bad
about
hand.
jerking
I
off
know
with a
you
stranger.
are. I know, but I was making a point. I can't remember
Okay.
where I was going now.
You want to try wiping your ass lefty to see how it goes?
Yeah, I've jerked off left-handed. It's not that the stranger's not that. These fucking clowns are gonna break a pair of headphones.
Yeah. That's why I leave them out. And I shut the door all the way.
Bogey, get out of there!
You guys are doing so good. Come here, dickhead.
Is he chewing on it? What the fuck was he doing?
Oh, they're just hanging down. He gets stuck in it. Hey, this part of the show is brought to you by The Party Pub. If you want to impress everyone at your grad party, wedding reception, poker night, MMA viewing party, or for any other reason, then you need to contact The Party Pub. It's a massive inflatable pub that can be set up wherever you choose. They also have all the best party games, beanbag toss, badminton, giant inflatable screens, axe throwing, and more. Call Jeff El Jefe at 586-524-6701 or visit thepartypubrentals.com and take your event to the next level. Hey, TDC listeners also get a 10% discount and 2 free games. Don't forget that part. It's badass.
I don't know where to go next. There's so much shit I wanted to get to. We should mention radiofor1.com is up. You can get merch there, Amazon link, Amazon Canada. Shop there as you normally do. We really appreciate that. MyPillow as well. Just use promo code TDC. MyPillow 2.0 is great. T loves it. I
Hey,
love
get
it.
yourself some Blood Stop while you're there.
Yeah.
Bleed Stop, Blood Stop, whatever the hell it is. Bleed Stop.
Yeah, I really want to get some instruction, too, on what the proper way is to do it, because I don't think you're supposed to have cement build up in your hand for the wound. Mere mortal, that would have really
Well,
hurt.
I think it's more, supposed to be more life and death, which mine theoretically could have been. I could have bled out. That was a deep wound. I don't know what was going on
You
there.
were well on your way. You'd have to clip the right vein, though, right? Or something like that, or the light.
Yeah, you got to get into
to
something.
really-
Right. But listen, life or death situation, you can either bleed out or pack it full of cement. Pack that fucker full of cement.
Great point.
Deal with
I
it
didn't
later.
think about that.
So, listen, I'm just telling you, to have it on hand,
Yeah.
that's the first time it's been a real world application on this.
Yeah.
We had once clipping Bogey's nails. We got a little too deep and it was bleeding. And I was trying to use it on that. I know it sucks. It felt awful, but I was trying to use it on that. But that's just like, you can't get in it, because it's
Yeah.
just the end of the nail. So it's just, trying to, but it wouldn't stop. Like the blood was just pushing it back out. So it never stopped it.
You should have just packed his whole little hand in that bag.
Should
Just
just let it
stuffed
set,
it in there.
right.
Make him wear it like a boot.
And then he just have this giant cement cast
Yeah.
around his paw. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, even then, it's
But
funny.
by the way, he'll never let you clip his nails again either.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's fine.
Does he?
Yeah, we figured it out.
Oh,
Listen,
usually
trust.
dogs are like, fuck off. I know what you did last time.
Yeah,
Don't
no.
remember that shit.
No, he trusts me with his life.
Good. Yeah, so anyways, MyPillow, promo code TDC. Also a link to our Patreon page. Thank you to everybody that supports the show that way. It's the best way to support the show, especially if you have an extra few dollars. We certainly appreciate that. We've got some musical numbers out there. I sort of look at this like when you look at the 60s, mid to late 60s, when you get past the Beatles type stuff, every song that came out was about the war. Right? Like all those anthems, whether you're talking about Bob Dylan or name the artist, they were all writing about,
all protest songs.
All protest songs, American Woman,
that was the temperature of the room out there.
Exactly. And what does that tell you? Well, that they're all writing about the same shit. Well, artists are writing about what they experience, right? Poets and songwriters, they're writing about what they know
and what's important in the world.
And to them personally.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to write about something that might be important in the world. You're not going to write a song about starving kids in Africa if you know shit about it.
Yeah.
But the war protest one was something where people took sides, man. It was very divided. And when I talk about this subject with my mom, she's like, I know it feels really divided in the country right now. Like, and I'm like, yeah, there's no coming back from this. I don't see a way back, honestly. She's like, I remember saying that in the 60s with Vietnam. Like, this country was so divided. Like, you don't even understand with the racial stuff and with the war stuff. So it doesn't surprise me now that artists are starting to write about stuff that they're seeing going on today.
Yeah.
Whether that's Kid Rock tagging, Trump or,
Let's Go Brandon song.
Let's Go Brandon song, which, I'm not a big fan of, honestly. I don't think it helps.
Yeah.
Eminem writing songs, shitting all over Trump and, that kind of stuff. Now we've got Jason Aldean. He has sparked an issue. He's got a new video
Who the
out.
hell's that guy?
Huh?
Who's Jason Aldean?
Do you know who he is for real?
Yeah, he's some country song.
Yeah. He was the guy that was on stage when that
Shooter in Vegas?
Vegas shooter.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Jason Aldean, if you remember. And I don't know, like 65 people were murdered and 850 wounded from that thing. It was crazy. What was that, the Route 66 or the Harvest something?
I forget what it was. Some hillbilly fest, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess he's a big deal. I'm not a country music fan.
Sure.
Neither are you. And I've been kind of honest about it. Someone asked me last week if I like country music. And I was like, no. But in fairness to country music, I fear that I would like it. And so I don't want to add another genre.
I saw a great meme the other day that
late
said,
stage of life.
listening to new country music
Yeah.
is like watching Coy and Vance drive the General Lee.
Watching what?
Coy and Vance drive the General Lee.
Was that when they rebooted it?
Yeah,
Where they
had
tried
the
to
fake
do
ones, the cousins or whatever the hell they were.
Yeah, they tried to.
Yeah.
They didn't have the Duke Boys. Was that a contract issue or
Yeah,
something?
exactly it was.
Yeah.
And that's what listening to country music was like,
that's
watching Coy and Vance
hilarious.
drive the General Lee. I was
That's
like, I can
funny.
relate to that.
That is funny. I would have never remembered their names. So, anyways, I think of he's written this song, anyways. Jason Aldean. Try that in a small town. And I was going to play some of it for you.
Okay.
And some people are pissed about it and blah, blah, blah. But he's kind of taken on Black Lives Matter a little bit. And this rioting over shit you don't like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Try that in a small town. Is kind of the gist of it, you see.
All right, yep.
You want to hear a minute of it and see what we think?
As much as I do not want to hear a minute of it, I will listen
Yeah.
to a minute of it.
All right.
Let me get this going. Sorry, I got a lot going on.
I think you're going to start seeing more and more of this stuff, too,
Probably.
with artists kind of
Yep.
coming up with their...
And whether or not this is good or bad will yet to be seen.
Yeah,
Whether it's
agreed.
we'll see.
Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like, cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town.
I love it. They got like a Capitol building in the background with the American flag hanging.
They're showing like actual video of BLM riots and shit.
Yeah, footage.
Yeah.
You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't.
Ooh, that's a little fuck around and find out line in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck. Try that in a small
that bad.
No.
You know?
And, as far as, country, at least it's got a...
It's got some guitar in it. Some electric.
It's got a good message.
Yeah. And, people are pissy about it, obviously. And it's like, well, what do you expect? You're going to cause billions of dollars of damage around the country and nobody's going to
What is their issue with it?
Yeah, good question.
I'd like to know what the actual issue is with what he's saying. This is okay, all the things that he's talking about?
Right. Some see any reference to guns as crossing the line. Also seen as insensitive, given he was on stage at the 2017 Vegas mass shooting. Liberal listeners feeling Aldean's touting of Southern norms and anti-rioting were far-right affronts.
Is that what it is?
Is that what that is?
Right. Jason, go get your hood, buddy.
So Southern norms in this. I'm not talking about every Southern norm. I don't know what they are, but Southern norms you think of, looking after your neighbor, supporting your local town. That I think of that Southern hospitality, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
It sounds awful.
Right.
Terrible.
Like why would you want anything to do with it? Far right affronts. Far right affronts.
That's just it's just a term that it's easy to throw around and difficult to defend.
Yeah.
That you don't have to justify in any way. You can just throw it out there.
Right. Oh, it's it's extremist, far right affront. Like, what are you talking about? So they're trying to strip the word patriot now because it's been co-opted by hate groups. It's like, okay, so you just say that, so now we can't use patriot. What?
Do you think New England's going to have to change their fucking team name
hopefully.
someday? Could that be the next one to fall?
Yeah, the New England Commanders.
Wow.
That'd be cool.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of which, we were watching that show Quarterback.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, at one point, and it set T kind of off, they were talking about Kirk Cousins. They're like, yeah, he hasn't done that since he was playing for the Washington Commanders. T's like, hold on a minute. He never played for the Washington Commanders. What are you talking about? He was a Redskin. He was drafted by the Redskins. Mm-hmm. We can't even say the word anymore.
No, exactly right. It's terrifying that's where we're at. We can't even fine everybody now. You want to call it the Commanders, fine. You don't call them Redskins anymore, fine. They officially changed their name. It is what it is. It's fine. I have no issue with that.
Right.
But don't you fucking dare tell me that Kirk Cousins or John Riggins or Joe Theismann, any of these guys played for the Washington Commanders.
No.
Son of a bitch.
Remember Earl Campbell's amazing career? Mm-hmm. With the Tennessee Titans or the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah,
I can't remember which.
Exactly.
Yeah, Earl Campbell.
Jim Brown, the greatest Baltimore Raven of all time.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Sure.
What are we doing?
Stop it. Just stop. You were comfortable using Redskins for 100 years. Or just say when he played for Washington. Mm-hmm. Don't say the Washington Commanders like we're all morons.
Yeah.
Do the basketball players that played for the Washington Bullets count? Do their careers count?
Oh, yeah. Well, God, could you imagine Bullets now? They'd
Yeah.
have to get rid of that. That's triggering for sure.
What did they change to? I don't even know what they changed to. What is Washington's team now? Because they're not the Bullets
I don't
anymore.
even know where they ended up, which team that was. They've changed around so many times.
Yeah. But I don't even know any Washington Bullets, but no. I'm sure it would be offensive as hell to those guys that still have shit jerseys hanging on their walls.
Well, did you see the Plymouth Canton Schools thing? Did we talk about that at all?
Maybe, but I don't recall.
So they're the Chiefs.
Okay.
Or Canton, I think, technically is the Chiefs or whatever.
Okay.
And so the school council or whatever, school board, decided they were going to change the name, right? It's considered offensive and but the irony of that is that they put out a poll to the community.
Yeah.
And it came back like 80% in favor of not changing the name.
Right.
And
no shock there.
And their comment was, well, that proves our community is racist, for one. So we're still going to change the name, and that proves the community is racist. And I forget the exact numbers, but it was something along the lines of they specifically asked like 27 Native Americans about it.
Yeah.
And 22 of them said, absolutely don't change the name. It's an honor for us. We do not want you to change the name. And they were like, yep, well, too bad.
Yeah.
They're still doing it. Like, wait a minute. What are we doing?
Yeah.
If you're going to take a poll and it's going to come back overwhelmingly in favor of keeping the name, and then you're just going to change the name anyway and just say that they're obviously racist.
Yeah.
I mean, just fucking wrap your mind around that whole process for a minute. If you're going to do it, then just shut the fuck up and do it. Say,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not up for public opinion. It's not up for debate.
Yeah, why would you take the poll?
We made a decision. Maybe they were just hoping that it was going to justify their decision, and it came back and blew up in their face. And so instead of like taking a step back and honoring it or reassessing the situation, they decided, no, well, it doesn't matter. We're still changing it. And I believe the quote is basically exactly that just proves that our community is racist.
Wow. That is so insulting to the people that live there. I thought about this when I was driving around Arizona, because I was in northern Arizona, I was in Phoenix area.
An Indian country over there.
Oh, yeah. And the amount of Indian culture that's around there,
Yeah, staggering.
every street, every plaza, every building, everything is something Indian related. And it's like, okay, keep playing this game, folks. Let's keep doing this in America. What are we going to do? Is it going to be Walmart? I live in the town of Walmart now, and I don't live in,
Well, it's not like they took. Here's the irony too. It's not like they took the Cleveland Indians and made them the Cleveland Native Americans,
right.
right?
Yeah.
If like that's the more appropriate term, then we'll just fucking whitewash it like that.
Yeah.
No, they had to change it all the way around. So now
What
it's
are
like
they
don't even.
called now? I don't even know what the Cleveland baseball team's name is.
They're
Couldn't care less.
couldn't
but
care less. Yeah, it's something fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It's the Cleveland.
Washington football team I actually dug. You dug it.
Oh, I love it.
That would have been great.
Yeah, and why they didn't go Steamers again is the greatest miss
the
of
Cleveland,
all time.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
be okay. You want to like Snyder had it right with the Washington thing. He was like, "Fine, okay, we'll just be the Washington football team."
Yeah.
loved it.
Loved
Wish he
it.
would have just stayed with it.
Yeah.
held his fucking ground.
Yeah.
and said, and that might have been part of because they're blowing him out. Maybe that could be part of it. They were like, "Fuck you," being an
It
asshole
just
about
worked.
it.
And I don't know anybody that went, this is absurd. What a stupid name. Maybe those people were out
But
there.
I'm sure they
Washington
were, but they
football
couldn't.
team
They couldn't really
was
say
great.
it because
Yeah.
it was better than Redskins apparently.
Yeah.
But so now what they're doing is they're just wiping it, just deleting it from history altogether. So they can't even be referenced at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be insulting. Like, my dad went to a high school in Northern California that was the Indians, and they've changed the name. So whenever I go there, I drive by, and I'm like, oh, that's where the Indians were. And I was like, yeah, well, when I was there. Warriors is apparently a problem now. I don't know how long Golden State carries the Warriors name.
Again, I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
But
I-
were they going to be the Golden State Gardeners?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to do now?
The Oceans,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, as they say.
Yeah, there you go. It's true. But those were all, none of those were like, we're going to make fun of these stupid Indians. Let's No, you wanted to honor something that was brave, strong, tough, a fighter, a warrior. You went with chiefs. Like, that's the point of it. Take something that's absolutely stoic and strong members of communities. And it was never based like, the Cleveland Indians and their mascot with the big fucking Indian red nose and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of clownish. And you're
Exactly
like,
right.
Okay, you're
you
playing
can
on
clean that up.
stereotypes.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
did. They took that logo out a while ago.
Just
and
started using the C.
Yeah.
They're the Guardians now.
the Guardians, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
Jason Aldean, going back to him in this song, and they're like touting Southern norms and anti-rioting were far right affronts. Aldean said-
Anti-rioting.
yeah, anti-rioting is now far right.
which I'm amazed.
Then consider me far right. I don't know what else to say.
I think what people already do, but I think the irony there is that they chose the term rioting and not protests.
yeah,
I think that's where this big differentiation lies, is between rioting and protesting. Okay?
yeah, but
nobody.
what are the
argu-
definitions of each? And then
Well,
we
nobody
can
did-
break
well,
this down
nobody-
really
I mean,
simply.
Yeah, I support wholeheartedly the right to protest.
And chant and carry your
Do
signs
what
and
you
walk
want,
through
do
the
what
streets.
you want to do in certain ways.
Yeah.
Rioting,
Yeah.
it's not protesting.
No.
I mean, they're completely different affronts. And he's talking about rioting,
Right.
not protesting. Now,
Right.
people take the riot or the protest and turn them into riots generally.
Yeah.
Which is, the people that should be the most adamant about this are the goddamn protesters.
Yeah.
The legitimate protesters. They're
You would
like,
think, you would
stop
hope.
hijacking our shit. You're giving us a bad name.
Yeah.
You're stealing all our legitimacy.
I've said the same thing about the LGBs. LGB without the T that was trending on Twitter, where it was like, hey, quit fucking hijacking what we've worked so goddamn hard for and acting, like all this goofy trans shit is part of our thing. Not really. Not really.
Nope. Right.
Just wanted some rights, wanted to be treated equal, wanted to not get beat up in public for being gay, and now all of a sudden you want to dress up like a freak show and,
want to give
talk to
blowjobs
toddlers,
in the streets. Okay.
and suck dick in the streets at parades and call it liberating. Like, what are we doing here? Stop it! You're taking what we've worked really hard for and fucking it up. You're making us all look bad. Jason Aldean said the hit was inspired by the unspoken rule of small towns of, we all have each other's backs, and we look out for each other. It feels like somewhere along the way, that sense of community and respect has gotten lost. Deep down, we are all ready to get back to that.
Well, you know what was a small town?
What?
Was it Kenosha, Wisconsin?
Yeah, Kenosha was. Was it a small town? Would Kenosha be a small town?
I bet.
Maybe.
All things considered.
I hope my new music video helps you all know that you are not alone in feeling that way. I sort of appreciate that sentiment, whether he means it or not, whatever.
I do. I mean, he wrote it. He made it. He obviously has some feels about it.
Yeah. People were quick to point out, someone says he's got $100 million net worth and doesn't qualify him to sing about small town life. What's fun about Jason Aldean is he recently left a home that had a bowling alley, outdoor kitchen, and giant fountain for a nicer home in the heart of Nashville. Okay. So what does that mean?
Oh, he's not allowed to have an opinion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot.
He's not allowed to better himself in the world and live the ultimate American dream. So he needs. So if he has small town values,
was he born in that house?
Was raised in a small town, is he's only allowed to stay there?
He's no longer
and just do that.
Yeah.
He can't carry those values with him no matter where he goes on planet Earth.
His opinion is nullified.
Right.
Not to mention his base.
Yeah. One former fan. Ooh,
you rescinded. Are you out there just burning up your Jason Aldean records? Are you
smashing them on stage? Wow.
Which has always been my favorite fucking thing.
Yeah.
You already bought them, dipshit. Who gives a fuck what you do with them now?
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
You already paid for it.
Yep. Wow. I used to really like his music, but when I found out he was how conservative he was, that was it.
Is there a huge liberal fucking country base I didn't realize?
Yeah. This was a shock to you to find out that a country musician is conservative, sir? I think this guy's got bigger issues than worrying about Jason Aldean. And honestly, I don't know
I think Jason Aldean will be fine. You, sir, I'm not positive about.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you take issue with, though. I understand people getting pissy about, Let's Go Brandon, the Kid Rock thing. Like if you're on that side, it's like a fuck you to your guy.
Yep.
I understand why people would. But this is like, hey, don't think you're going to come in here and trash my neighbor's fucking store and nobody around the neighborhood's going to have a problem with it.
Yeah. And
Try that shit in a small town and see how far that gets you.
And I don't even, I don't like the Let's Go Brandon thing just because I hate the disrespect of The Office. I mean, I get it. I'm not ignorant in that, it's being disrespected on every level, every day, and has been for years.
I have a special place in my soul for Let's Go Brandon, just because of how it started.
I agree.
Because of how it started on NBC during that NASCAR race.
Yeah, it was so
brilliant
and hysterical.
Hilarious.
It goes back to the back and forth I had with some twat on Facebook or something, a mutual friend talking about how somebody should murder Trump. Or whatever. Yeah. I was like, hey, whatever. Feel how you feel. Think what you think. But I go, we're really pro assassinating a sitting president. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, fuck that guy. Then he needs to just die. I'm like, well, you have real issues. If that's how,
issues.
And then I was the Nazi, and I was,
of course
just
you were.
Completely blasted and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm not even saying I support the guy.
Well, they said it, so it must be true.
No, I'm anti-murdering sitting presidents on any level, whatever what letters in front of their name.
Right.
Okay. I'm not advocating murdering fucking Joe Biden.
Yeah.
On any level in any scenario.
Yeah.
So whether I like him or not, that's not anything that I think is appropriate.
Yeah.
But I was the Nazi
Yeah,
Like,
of course
you're
you
a
were.
fucking maniac.
And the fascist. You were probably a fascist.
Exactly.
too.
I could go through the whole list of it, but I was like, you are an absolutely fucking insane man.
That's a mentally
this was somebody
struggling
from
person.
Europe. They didn't even live in this country. I was like, go fuck yourself. Worry about your own shit. Why are you bothering with ours?
Why don't you take a month and explain your politics to us, lady? No one even understands how your fucking politics work over there.
Yeah. The irony.
Yeah, stop it. Get out of here.
And the double standard.
Yeah. It's at a level, dude, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, there used to just be a line we all understood that was bright red. It was very crystal clear. Like, okay, we all agree that is really off the table.
Okay, this is where we're drawing the line here. This is it.
Like, you wanna call him ugly, and we used to it be like, hey, let's keep it civil. Children are off limits, okay? Let's not go after their. Let's leave
the moms out of it.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
Right.
And now it's just like fair game. All of them.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse.
The gloves are off. There are no rules.
Yeah. Disney, some new photos were released of their some set photos.
Okay.
New movie they're working on.
Oh, they're still making movies?
Yeah.
They didn't shut that down?
No. Oh, you mean because of
The last 9 haven't made any money?
right?
Well, I shouldn't say that.
When are they going to learn?
They make so many movies. They're probably Guardians of the Galaxy for all I fucking know. They probably own that shit.
Oh yeah. Well, it's on
Maybe.
Disney Plus.
So there you
those
go.
Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, man, G's really into those, and I didn't realize how Marvel had set this up like a 15 movie deal that goes through Guardians of the Galaxy and the Hulk and what's it, Tony Stark,
the Iron
movies,
Man,
Iron
Spider-Man,
Man,
those are all
Spider-Man, the
Marvel,
Hulk, Doctor Strange. And G was explaining it to me how they had some like deal that every one of these movies, Ant-Man and all the sequels, all somehow weave into each other in the bigger picture of this Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And when I finally understood that, because it was like, yeah, I like Iron Man. I watched the Iron Man movies. Thought the first Iron Man was spectacular.
Really did. Yeah. I really
Unbelievably
enjoyed that.
cool.
That was a great movie. Yeah.
When it gets so crazy with the CGI, I get kind of lost. But I started watching them with him, during the day and shit when I had time, and it was like, yeah, okay, I don't think I've seen this one, or if I did, I didn't understand any of it. It's pretty damn cool what they're doing with that Marvel universe. It really is.
Okay.
And because I know how your thoughts on it.
Well, I don't. I'm indifferent for the most part. I have issues with like the Star Wars bastardization that's going on with that.
Yeah, I get that.
And the Marvel thing, you let me know how Tony Stark in current times right now ties in with Chris Pratt and whatever the fuck in the Guardians of the Galaxy, of how they're out fighting in space against this stuff, because those are completely 2 different timelines. But whatever, you do you, bro.
Yeah.
So, and whatever,
But they intertwine, and it's kind of brilliant the way they've done it. And I'm certainly no expert, and people will probably email and shit all over us for even discussing it.
Yeah.
But knowing that it was a planned like 15 movie arc featuring all their universe of characters, it made more sense to me. I guess I just kind of missed that whole thing. They're going to do something similar with DC, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
That they'll have their own universe. Anyways.
Well, isn't that basically what the Star Wars thing is doing too?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that they're but they all sort of intertwine. They're all connected stories on some level.
But this was different in that they knew going in, starting here, these are all going to tie in. These storylines are all going to have a place.
Okay.
And so it was kind of planned. Where Star Wars, it just feels like
They're just winging it.
yeah, like I'm just going with
can.
this. I'm just going with this storyline over here. I'm going to focus on Boba Fett.
They do a story and like, oh, it seems like everybody likes Boba Fett. Guess what? Boba Fett gets a show now.
Right.
And then there's going to be something in there. Oh, wait, now we had to have Baby Yoga and all that stupid shit.
Baby Yoga.
Yeah, him. Little fucker.
What was his name?
Yoda?
Groot. No.
Oh, that's the tree in Guardians
I
of the
know,
Galaxy.
I know. Groot's badass too. I didn't realize what a badass dude Groot was.
Okay.
He
I
is.
never even saw the first
And
one.
Rocket, yeah.
A raccoon. Come on, what are we doing, dude?
I'm telling you, it makes sense when you watch other movies.
Of course it does. A
It
tree and
does.
a raccoon. Yeah,
I'm
fuck yeah, it
telling
does.
you,
Of course
it's
it does.
good. And the soundtrack alone, I'm telling you, it's not as fucking hokey as I thought. It's well more thought out, and I think you might actually like some of it. I'm just saying.
That's fine.
Just saying.
I'm not saying I would despise it.
No. Anyways, Disney, going back to them.
Yeah.
They're apparently they're trying to bring back, how do we bring back this super white cunt Snow White and her 7 midget friends and not piss everybody off? So they're apparently, according to photos, they're doing it largely without the dwarves.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Could you name the dwarfs if you had to?
Dopey.
Hold on.
Sneezy, Doc.
Hold on.
I mean, no.
Dopey, Sleep,
Sneezy, Doc, Happy.
Yeah. Are you looking at him over there?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got. Oh, fucking.
So you got Dopey, Sneezy, Happy, Doc. That's not bad. You miss Grumpy. That's an easy one. That's a layup.
Yeah.
Sleepy.
Yep. If I
Sort
really
of a
thought I
layup.
could have got there.
I don't think either one of us would have got Bashful.
Bashful, probably not. I can picture him now.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't have got that one off the top of my head. No.
Yeah. They've delighted kids for decades. Seems like they're getting the axe in favor of some generic magical creatures. Why? Well, they were all men and white. And worst of all, they perpetuated harmful stereotypes against forest-dwelling, pointy hat-wearing, non-existent fairy tale beings. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Pete Dinklage, he's a dwarf. He started off the whole stupid affair back in 22 when he whined, "You're still making that fucking backward story about 7 dwarves living in a cave together? What the fuck are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause from my soapbox?" You know, Pete,
I think we still got one.
Yeah, it might even be Pete Dinklage.
I know, right? He bitched so much that he had to get himself a fucking role in there.
I see a couple afros in there.
Yeah, definitely. Right?
So you just eliminated the dwarves?
So now it's Snow White and the 7 homos, or what are we talking about? What's the deal here?
7 fucking weirdo creeps living in the woods together?
This is just Snow White, and it's going to be their own little hippie commune.
They didn't even live in a cave, by the way. That was his big hard-on, too. Oh, like all dwarfs live in a cave. By the way, Pete, project much? No one said that.
Yeah.
All dwarf. First off,
the storyline of a fairy tale. First of all, so just settle the fuck down.
That's like taking the Hogwarts
that was written long before you were even born.
Seriously. Yeah. It's like taking the Hogwarts community seriously. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? It's a fairy tale, dickhead.
Mm-hmm. It's like getting mad about a tree and a raccoon in a movie. It's fucking insane.
Right. Weren't they the heroes of this thing anyways? Weren't they
essentially?
Like, they were there? I mean, I don't think they raped Snow White, right?
No.
Did one of them make out with her while she was passed out?
No, that was Prince Charming.
Oh, that was
that's
Prince
Sleeping
Charming.
Beauty even,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is non-consensual, which is a whole nother issue.
Yeah, they're the moral center of the movie as far as Snow White.
They save her life, I think, is what
Right.
happened. She's the poison apple, and they save her, and they come back. I can't even remember the whole story.
I don't either. It makes me kind of want to go watch it.
And she gives her the poison apple because Snow White is mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fucking baddest bitch of them all?
Yeah.
And,
Dude,
and
how do you
finally,
remember so much
and
of
then
this?
finally it was like, yeah, you know what? It's
a
not
bad
you
bitch.
anymore. It's Snow White. Snow White's the hottest bitch going. And then she was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck that whore. And gave her a poison apple and fucked her up.
Yeah.
And then the dwarves were like, brought
Fingering
her back
her
to
and-
life.
yeah.
And and then they went and killed the witch.
Did they?
I don't remember
I don't
how
remember,
it ends.
yeah.
But I'm guessing that's what happens. That's the only way it could end. It's a fairy tale, for God's sakes.
And that's what they point out in this article I'm reading. It's not stereotyping. Rather, like all fairy tales, it uses the unreal to illuminate the far too real world we do inhabit. Insanely, Disney seems to have listened to this dipshit. And in the fall, the new Snow White with West Side Story actress Rachel Ziegler, she got into the action. People are making these jokes about ours being the PC Snow White, where it's like, yeah, it is because it needed that. No,
it didn't. First of all,
it didn't.
First of all, didn't need to be made, period.
Yeah.
Okay? Already been done.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to touch it.
Yeah.
You sure as fuck didn't have to change it. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to do it in the first place. Mm-hmm. So then to do it and then go, but we can't make it the way it was before.
Right.
So now we have to change it is
Because it wasn't cool enough for PC
mind-boggling on its face of how egotistical that is. Right?
Yeah.
The liberties that you're taking with someone else's work is fucking insane. And third, shut up.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
There was something else, but I don't remember what it was.
It's a cartoon. It's about magic spells, fate, and true love. And this article points out it doesn't need to be brought into line with our new Twitter-driven Hays Code. And for those that don't know what the Hays Code is, the Hays Code goes back to the 30s and 40s. people actually started getting crazy when they started first making films. And so the Hays Code is named after William H. Hays. He was the president of the Motion Picture Productions and Directors of America.
My second favorite William H., by the way.
Really? You like Macy?
Definitely. Over
Yeah,
Hayes.
I do too.
Yeah, how could you not?
But Hayes, so there was kind of an unspoken rule that they had because people were like, oh, we can make movies and, there's sound and all this shit. This was all new stuff. And so it was no time before they wanted to add drugs and fuck scenes and all kinds of stuff. And it was like, whoa, 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 slow your roll. And so the Hayes rule was no gratuitous nudity, like if it's for artistic reasons in a painting.
If it's pertinent.
Don't have a chick getting butt fucked on screen for no reason because you want to show her asshole and her tits. Don't do that. Also, guidelines prohibited profanity, suggestive nudity, graphic or realistic violence, and rape. And that went from like 1940 to 1964 or something.
Okay.
So obviously we've lost all. The Hays Code
for sure.
is dead to all of us.
Okay, I just don't understand what the issue with dwarves are. Right? I mean, they're the heroes of the story in a way.
Yep.
They're not portrayed in any negative light whatsoever,
all.
other than their height of being dwarves.
Right.
Right.
Which exists.
They do
Dwarfism is
exist,
a thing.
right? Exactly. We're not pretending that they don't exist, so you can't have it.
Yeah.
So that they live somewhere in this little dwarf community in the. I mean,
Do you think the world is a better place since The Simpsons finally removed Apu from The Simpsons?
I can sleep better at night.
I mean,
Personally.
I know I can too. Are Indians personally, dots, not feathers, happy about this?
I don't think they're being represented anymore.
Right.
You know?
So you're taking what small representation they did have, and by the way, a great family man who worked his balls off,
Yep.
ran was there for his community always, had wonderful children and a wife, and ran this store, worked really hard, like all the values you'd want in someone. But he had
Has anybody actually walked into a 7-Eleven lately?
Yeah.
Because it couldn't be more fucking accurate.
Right. Right. Which is why it's
Or a Dunkin'
funny,
Donuts.
or a Dunkin' Donuts, which is why that worked originally.
Right.
Right. There's some basis in all of that stuff.
Right. Or a party store.
Right. In
Any
general.
party store.
And so the problem was there were a few kids that got teased that were Indian for thank you, come again, like that bullshit. Most Indians will say that was the first time I saw myself represented on American television, and it made me think, holy shit, I can. Like, it takes something to break down doors to where you can see yourself.
Right. And so the irony there is, like you said, it was a very positive character. across the line,
100%.
except for the accent.
Yeah.
Which is not, Raj will argue this with you.
Yeah.
But overall, it's not like too far off.
Right.
I mean, really?
Right.
It's not like it's
his
so,
Indian accent is better than mine.
Yes.
But no, you all know what I'm doing when I do it.
Of course. I
Yeah.
mean, and it wasn't so like over the top. I mean, like I said, I don't understand. So it was the accent. Not the character's base. Everything about it was
morally sound.
Exactly.
Everything about Apu, he was probably the most. Actually, a lot of the Simpsons characters were very good.
Yeah.
When you think about Homer, did outrageous shit, drank too much, all that, but he never cheated on his wife, never ditched his kids,
Yeah.
was always there when he needed to be.
Sure.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's a blue collar dude. Apu was like a pillar of the community. Everybody knew Apu. Everybody loved Apu.
Exactly.
And so the point
Never
being,
wronged anyone.
Are the world's we all going to be glad the dwarves are now gone from this? Or does Pete Dinklage, does this militant bastard speak for all of them?
Yeah, I'd like to know because that sure almost looks like fucking Dinklage in there.
It sure does.
I
You mean
only-
second guy in?
Yeah, and that's the only reason I'll say that it's not Pete Dinklage because he would be in front. He would insist that he was in front.
Right. I know when we had Brad Williams in here, wasn't he going, dude, there's very few roles
Exactly.
that I can do.
He actually took exception with this. I think we had this conversation with him about this because
Right.
this was coming down the pipe, and Dinklage was pissed off about this.
Yes.
And he was on the opposite side of that. Like, fuck you, dude. You're taking somebody's fucking role.
Yeah.
To be able to do this. This is 7 fucking guys out there working that now these assholes get to go get, and there's 7 dwarfs that got to go get tossed
And it's
to make fucking rent.
Right. Exactly. And it's not just the 7 characters you're removing from the Disney movie. It's the amount of people who are going to experience little people for the first time and maybe have a conversation about it, or are going
and to show them in a very positive
light.
Exactly.
There
you
was
have an
no negative.
opportunity there.
It's not like they were rapey, butt-fucky,
right?
Sneezy, sleepy, doc,
Why
dopey.
do they have to be grumpy? Why do you have to be so mean?
Yeah, why do you have to have rapey dwarf? Why do you have to murdery, rapey dwarves? No, you didn't make them bad, horrible characters.
Yeah.
One of them was a little lazy and one of them was a little tired, but other than that, they were good dudes.
We're just doing like Smurfs. The Avatar's the new Smurfs.
Yeah, exactly. Merry midgets are going to be next. Pretty soon, you're not going to be able to have those wee little bastards doing Christmas shit. The elves.
Boy.
And to your point,
yay!
what did the elves like? They're revered. Like, no, it's not like, oh yeah, every time you bring up the Christmas elves and the North Pole, they're up to shady shit. They're always breaking into each other's homes.
The little tiny dicks.
Yeah, they have tiny dicks we always make fun of. No, none of that. Maybe you could say they're kind of treated like slaves, or that this is the only job they're qualified for. But
okay, so if they're full size, does that change if they're full size people? I mean,
no.
What does the fact that they're dwarves, elves, have to do with it? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just people imposing this bullshit will on stuff that is not required.
Yeah. I just don't get it.
Me either.
Me either.
Me
Don't get it.
I hate people.
I do too. I had so much more to get to, but we won't do that today. We're running out of time. I did want to do an Ask T-Roy or two and maybe some email.
I don't even get a day off on my injured day.
No, hell no, dude.
Bogues, you want to answer that for me?
We're going to have a lot to do for exclusive content for our very, very favorite listeners, too.
I'll have a little extra time here this week, so we can get some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I think you will. All right. Dear T-Roy, I am a morning person.
Okay.
I hate this person already.
Yep.
And my newly retired husband is the opposite. At night in our bedroom, he reads on his iPad for several hours while I try to sleep. I am in bed by 11, while my husband usually stays up till 1 or 2 a.m.
Okay.
If I wake up, he's on our couch in the bedroom with a glow of light from the iPad, but it bothers me he's in the same room staying up to read. We've been married 45 years and usually went to bed at the same time because of work. But now that he's retired, he says he likes reading, watching movies, or watching videos on YouTube. I think he should read in another room, better for his eyes, and not the room I'm sleeping in. He doesn't want to sit in our living room. Bottom line, it bothers me that one person is doing an activity while the other sleeps or tries to sleep. What would be your advice? Disordered sleep in Colorado.
What the fuck is the problem? I mean, it's not the fact that he's staying up different hours, and so you guys are on a little bit different schedules.
Yeah.
Right? He's not watching TV with making noise to affect your sleep. He's not even sitting next to you in the bed with the iPad. He's on a couch in the same room where he wants to be in the same room with you, reading, not jerking off to porn, not talking to other women. Yeah. Your issue is not that he doesn't come to bed and go to sleep with you. It's not that he's in the other room staying up till all hours you don't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's that he's in the room with you reading on his iPad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Life is too good that this is what we're the bottom of the barrel bitching.
Right.
Yeah. Unless it's like, oh, it's really bad for your sleep. There's studies
this has
that
nothing
say
to do
having
with
the light on in the room.
Shut up. Stop it.
You know that argument exists.
Did she say it?
No,
Shut
she
the
didn't.
fuck up. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, this has nothing to do with him and everything to do with her.
Right.
And I don't understand. I don't get your argument. It's invalid. It does not count.
Really?
Does not.
Yeah. If the roles were reversed, would you say that? If
no, absolutely
he was
not.
sleeping and she was up reading all hours?
No,
of the night?
because what she's bitching about is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
You would rather have him in another room doing something rather than being in the same room with you. I don't want somebody doing something while I'm sleeping.
It
Fuck you.
bothers me that one person is doing an activity while the other sleeps or tries to sleep. Doing an activity.
Right.
So she wants his ass in bed with her, sleeping.
But she doesn't even say that. She wants him to go read in the other room, she said.
doing an activity. That sounds like racquetball or something. He's reading a fucking book, lady.
Yeah, if he's over there beating the shit out of his dick and fucking skeeting all over the curtains, okay, you got a case.
Yeah.
This does not sound like it.
Yeah.
And I think I understand why he's trying to be on a little different schedule.
Yeah.
You know, he finally gets a little peace and quiet after you go to sleep. So
he doesn't hear this just yap in his ear all night.
Yep. Nope. I'm team fucking hubby.
Yeah. All right. Dear T-Roy, my friend who was suddenly widowed 2 years ago continues to insert her late husband into every conversation with friends and strangers alike. She's still depressed, grieving, and searching for significance, and she shares it all in person and online. Early on, she had counseling, but no longer feels it necessary. She claims it helps her to talk about him constantly. Most of us close to her avoid the elephant in the room. I find myself apologizing for her in group gatherings that I take her to. People try to offer sympathy, but are surprised when they realize he's been gone 2 years. I endure with love, but wonder if this is the best path. Personally, I want to let him rest in peace, but that's hard when he's always in the room. Advice, wanting to move forward.
Did your husband die?
Doesn't sound like it.
Then shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Then you don't get to tell people how to grieve, how to mourn, how to heal.
Okay.
You don't get to say that.
Okay.
I don't know if this is right or wrong. I'm not their friend. She wants to celebrate her ex-husband, or former husband, or whatever that fucking whatever the term for that dead husband is. We'll go with just dead husband because that's what he is. Then fine, that's her right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if she's doing it in a negative or harmful way, which it doesn't sound like she is, she just keeps talking about him, you know, with first person or like he's there or bringing him up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you lose a husband? No, then you don't get to speak on it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're really
stop inviting her to events if it drives you that fucking nuts.
You know what? This is another one that fuck this bitch because this has nothing to do with her.
Yeah.
It's not about, I'm really worried that she's not moving on, that she's doing this stuff. No, this is all about how it affects this idiot.
Yeah.
I find myself having to apologize for. Why?
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize for anybody.
Yeah.
Stop it. That's it. There's so many of these are just me under the guise of, oh, my poor friend.
Yeah.
No, this has nothing to do with your friend. This has to do with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you suck.
Does that get annoying, though? I know I talk about Beth quite a bit. Right?
Sure.
I'm someone who talks about my life and experiences and stories about shit I've done for a living. And so she comes up a lot. I was with her for many years, and she's still a good friend today.
Yeah.
But I imagine if I had a new girlfriend, she might see that as a threat or be pissy about that if I'm talking about.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
A girlfriend? Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend? No.
Yeah, okay.
Completely different.
Yeah, I don't see you getting bent
I
out
don't
of
think
shape.
these two are banging here. You know?
Yeah.
So no. This has nothing to do with the widow. This has everything to do with this idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what do you do if what if there is something your friend's always talking about? Say it's not this, but there's a topic that's like, oh my God, is he going on about that shit again?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, how do I get this friend to stop talking about, name the subject?
Why? Why do they have to stop talking about that subject? Because
I don't know,
bothers
because
you?
It bothers me, yeah.
That's a you problem.
I'm just making it up.
I know, I understand. I'm saying.
But if I'm looking for advice, if I'm pulling my hair out like, Jesus Christ, this guy won't shut up about his fucking drum set. Every time I see him, I don't give a shit about his drum set.
Okay, then go somewhere else. Do something else. It doesn't matter. This is a you problem, not a them problem. Don't talk about my friend won't stop talking about drums.
Well, when I would go hang out with Mad and Reed, my wonderful niece and nephew, and Reed was like 7. He was super into fucking Pokemon. And it's all he wanted to talk about. And I was like, fuck off, dude. I don't know these characters. I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead, explain the game to me. Oh, wait, you can't. You know why you can't? Because the fucking inventors can't. Nobody can explain Pokemon. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't want to fucking hear about it. I was yanking my hair out. Is that a me problem?
Yes, it is.
Because he won't incessantly stop talking about fucking Pokemon?
Yeah, because you're more
He's better
worried
now.
No, because you're more worried about what's important to you and not what is important to them. Because stop. Listen.
Okay.
Let this one fucking stink in for a minute.
Yeah.
Because it's about what's important to them. Whether it's the husband, the fucking Pokemon, the fucking drums, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's what's important to that person. Okay?
But T won't shut up about it all day.
Yeah, that's a you problem. 100% a you problem.
So if I just only talk to you about carpet all day, I'm just looking at shit in the room. Drum set.
No, that's fine. Yep.
You know, I go, Troy, look at this carpet color. Look at this carpet color. You wouldn't be like, enough with the fucking carpets.
And if you stop, I could, exactly. If it's enough for that, and when you don't stop,
Yeah.
I don't talk to you anymore. I don't want to talk about carpets.
Yeah.
Those are your answers.
Yeah.
You either accept it, I mean, you work it out together or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you want me to do? I'm so sick of hearing about her dead husband.
Yeah.
I think she feels.
Yeah.
I think she feels about it.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Okay. Fair enough. Doug writes in, your dog licked your nutsack? Hot. No, it wasn't my dog, and he didn't lick the nutsack. If I remember correctly, it was a cold nose. Yeah. It was a cold nose. She might have. It was Izzy. Jumped up on the bed from behind.
That's what dogs do, is sniff butts.
Yeah.
That's what they're prone to do.
She got herself a fucking nose full of ball bag.
Yep.
It was not.
She regrets you not having a bidet.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, friend request number 3. Okay, Senate. Ironically, from what you were talking about, I used to be friends with Big E, but lost my Facebook due to political ranting. Yeah, that's never going to win. I didn't send him another request because I didn't want him to think I was a scammer. Full name is so-and-so from Troy.
There you go.
Lives in Bangor, Maine. Have a nice day. The Maine light anarchist, Steve. So I checked then, and I had a friend request from him, and I accepted it.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, that's old news.
Yeah, I was just giving people update. Anyway,
All right, you and the anarchist are now friends.
we are.
We can move on.
Great. Sounds like I get to hear all his political rantings.
And you will.
Those are always a big home run.
Yes, you
If
will.
you notice, I don't rant about that shit on Facebook.
Good.
The political stuff.
No.
I find some of your stuff, you people out there, funny as shit.
You
but,
people.
yeah, those people.
Sure.
All right, let's call it a day there, T. Thanks, everybody, for joining us and listening and hanging out. Feel free to send your Ask T-Roy question. He comes off as strong and angry a lot of times.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah, so don't be intimidated by T-Roy that he's going to shit all over you and tell you to get over yourself and all that. He doesn't do that for everybody, so
No.
you can feel safe.
Listen, I take whatever side of the story I feel strongly about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was a good one.
You want to write in, you roll the dice.
That was a good one because I actually, I've been in that situation, and I was thinking about myself in that is similar. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I know someone that wouldn't shut the fuck up about their dead, whatever, partner, if you will.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, do we ever get to a point where everything doesn't remind you of said person, and we need to fucking discuss it no matter where we like shit like that. So I kind of
I can understand where
that,
it becomes frustrating or you're not dealing with it.
Right.
I just don't think that you're giving that person enough credit as to like somehow you think they should be over it. Why
Yeah.
why do you get to put the timeline on it? Why do you get to decide what's okay and what's not? If that's what
Yeah.
is right for this person to constantly talk about them and keep their memory alive in their life, they have no intention of ever moving on. They're just going to be married to this person in their lives
Yeah.
for the rest of their lives. Why can't they?
Yeah.
They should be allowed to do that, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
And because it makes you uncomfortable, that makes it a you problem.
By the way, saying you died 2 years ago, like, what are we still doing?
Yeah.
2 years is really not that long.
No,
a
not
time.
somebody that, especially somebody you've been with your
If
whole
it's-
life, the father of your children, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, exactly. It could be somebody you met 2 days ago, and it could be that big of a connection. Doesn't matter.
But if it was like, this guy died in 1972, and she still will not shut the fuck. Like
Again, you don't get
then
to set those timelines.
I understand that, but just for argument's sake, I could understand where it's like, but you're talking about 2 years. A lot of people, I think, would take. And I remember specifically when Bobby died, having that feeling like, you go through the funeral and then you're back to work and you're talking about it on the show and it's fucking awful. And then someone, not trying to be insensitive or rude or anything comes in like, hey man, what's going on this weekend? You want to go to the blah, blah, blah? It was like, and I snapped. I was like, what do you mean what's going on this fucking weekend? Bobby's dead. Get the fuck out of here, man. And it was like they didn't mean anything, but the show must go on, or life goes on like that. When it doesn't affect you personally, it's not that personal connection with someone, it's different. And so I understand both sides of it.
Of course.
Because in that one, it was like, I was not ready to, what do you mean? Oh, a new movie came out this weekend? Fuck off. Get out of here.
Oh.
Like,
and
no.
if somebody yelled at you and said that, well, get over it, it's been X amount of fucking time.
It's been 2 months. How much time do you need to grieve
Yeah,
your
exactly.
friend?
Get over it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
No.
you just don't get that's people are just too about themselves.
Yeah.
And not they should care more about this woman and where she's at in her process than how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And that's my whole issue with most of this stuff. All this stuff is me.
Now keep pointing it out. We're going to get through to some people.
Well, we'll see. And again, take my advice with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because,
You're not a licensed individual?
No. My
You should be.
My PhD is in common sense.
Yeah. And it's a solid PhD.
It is.
It's one
Strong.
that will never go out of style either.
It's obviously not in culinary skills.
No, it's not. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll see you then.